Hello everyone and welcome back to the One Stop Co-op Shop. We are now on to the story phase of London Dread. So I know that initially I had spoke about having the clocks out so you could see them at the same time, but to be honest, you saw the clocks before. All they are is we're just going to march through the clocks between the different hours and move our people accordingly. So you're going to see everything that happens with the clock on this board, and I kind of prefer you to see this board more anyways. There are a few components that you will bring out for this section of the game. The first are all of these dice. Yes. So on the plot point cards, instead of having guaranteed successes, every time we bring a specific icon to the card, so to the investigation, we get a single one of these dice. Now, these dice are a 5, 6 for a success, and 1, 2, 3, 4 as a fail. So you'll see, I'm pretty terrible at rolling these. There's chances, even if you have a bunch of icons that you bring to that plot point, you may not still get it just based on how the dice rolls. The other die you're going to bring is this die. This is called, I don't even remember, like the injury die. So sometimes you'll be required to roll this. When you roll this, it's all bad. So if you roll one of these, you increase dread by 1. If you roll this, you become injured. If you roll that, you become unhinged. Okay? So, and that's 2 dread. So, not a good die. You hope you don't have to roll that. The other big item that we're going to have is our personality decks. So each player is going to have their own personality deck, okay? So this is Friedrich. And what we're going to do is these are going to be used only for the plot point cards. When we move to one of these plot point cards, okay, and we are trying to investigate it, we may potentially bring either a flaw or something good to the to that location. Okay, and basically it's like rolling a 6-sided die, because each time you go to a new plot point, you're going to shuffle these up and draw a new one. So a lot of them are going to bring additional icons, okay, which is nice. But 1 out of the 6 is going to leave you with your trauma. So you've provided nothing. Roll the trauma die. So not only do you have to roll the trauma die, you don't even bring your base icons. So for Friedrich, his base icons were strength and courage. He wouldn't even bring that, and his 1 wild. So you're always taking a chance with that, okay? So you're going to be seeing that when we go to plot points, and we're going to be doing that right away, we're going to be flipping a card from our personality decks for each person that is at that location. And then we can see if they bring additional icons or not. All right, without further ado, let's get going. All right, so it is 6 a.m. At 6 a.m., I had both of my individuals jump right to Reynolds' place, because we wanted to do that. So both Friedrich and Basil are here, okay? Jacqueline jumped right over to location 1, which is the Grand Ball. Now, Jack, and I'll have to give my wife a hard time about this, decided to take a nap on the streets. That's all I can think of, because she left hers blank. So we'll just put him like he's sleeping there. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to do the easy one first. So Jacqueline is here. This Grand Ball card, it needs 2... It's hard to see because of the light. There we go. It needs 2 of this icon to pass. Okay, so she brings what is that? Charm, I think. She brings charm because that's one of her basic qualities. Plus, she has a wild, so that's 2. So she has succeeded in defeating this card or investigating it. So because of that, we throw it into the investigation deck, and now we have that for use later if we want to draw cards from the investigation deck to help us investigate other cards, or during the end game. So that was hers. Now, my 2 guys went to Reynolds' residence. And so on Reynolds' residence card, you can see here, it has different numbers for success. So 1 or less, all present are unhinged, 2 in the clear, and 3 gain a random item. And then there's the 2 icons that we need, okay? So what we're going to do first is draw from the personality deck. So I'm going to shuffle up. I'm shuffling up Friedrichs. Let's see. And he brings, strategist. Oh, look at that. He brings the two perfect things. And I'm not going to read you any of this because I want you guys to enjoy that when you play the game. The only thing I'm going to read to you is the plot point cards, just so you can see how the story unfolds. But otherwise, all the other investigation cards, because you'll reuse them in all the games, I don't want to spoil all of that for you. So, since he's bringing both an owl and a lion, which is what we need in this location, plus he has a courage or lion his own, and a wild, he is bringing 4 dice to this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is great. All right, now we're going to do Basil. Shuffle, 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 and flip. All right, so he's bringing the debater. So he's got an owl and a snake. Well, the snake isn't very helpful, but the owl is. So he needs an owl, or he has an owl and charm as his base. So, I think owl is lore. Yes, I'm starting to remember these. So he's bringing lore and charm on his base qualities. So he has lore and his wild. So that's going to be 2 dice. 1, 2. And then he brings 1 additional for his card, the debater. So he brings 3 dice. So hopefully 4, 5, with 7 dice, we can get 3 or more successes. Okay? So now, what we can do if we want at this point is we can draw from the investigation deck and see if we can get more icons to add more dice. We could use our items to add more dice, but I think I'm going to actually just roll. However, once you roll your dice, that's your final. So I can't roll my dice and go, I need another success. Let me use an investigation deck card. Nope, you're done. So it's really, really important that you make that decision before you roll your dice. However, since we have 2 people here, I can roll my dice once. And then and I'll do it for Friedrich since he's got 4. And then if he only gets 1 success and Basil's worried, he can grab from the investigation deck before he rolls his 3. Okay? But we're not going to need to do that, right? Because I'm going to roll successfully. And I will tell you right now, I have the worst luck with this. It's like rolling a 5 or a 6. You'd think it wouldn't be hard, but it is. Look at that. 4 dice, 4 misses. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just terrible, right? Okay. So now it's Basil's. And now the question is, should Basil do something? Actually, let me look at this. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, because items let you do certain things outside of the norm. So I'm going to use Friedrich's item, which says re-roll up to 3 action dice you just rolled. If you roll no successes, discard the tarot deck. So I'm going to re-roll 3 of these, okay, that I just rolled. Come on. Look at that. Well, I went from no successes to 3 successes, but now I have used my item. However, I didn't use the depleted, but I did use it, so now I cannot use that for the rest of this round. So we have 3 successes, so we're guaranteed a random item. So Basil's just going to roll his 3 dice, just for fun, to see if we can get some additional confidence. And we get 2 successes. So what we're going to do is grab from this confidence deck, shuffle it up a little bit, shuffle, and grab 2 cards and throw those in to our investigation deck. Not too shabby, considering what I first did. Okay, and then we take this off, and we take this off. And then I am going to read you a little bit of the story. Okay? In the study, you find Mr. Reynolds' dead body. The place shows signs of violent struggle, and from a number of articles found in the shambles, you conclude that Mr. Reynolds was an archaeology professor of international renown. Somewhere in the scattering belongings, you notice a cheap, cluttered notebook that clearly does not belong. Inside the book is a pawn shop receipt. Now we read the 3+. You conduct a thorough search and find something of use. You pocket the notebook and leave Mr. Reynolds' residence. And so because of that, we get to gain a random item. So, gaining a random item, we just grab from the top here. So we'll draw it. Oh, look at that. Has a use of spellcast. Discard a condition from a character at your location. That's its depleted. And it's snake oil. So I'm going to give that to Friedrich since he had to use his item already. All right. So that was 6 a.m. So now we'll move on to 8 a.m. So we'll move the pawns up. You can't see this, but that's fine. You don't really need to see it. We move to 8 a.m. So first, Mr. Friedrich is going to go to location 5. He jumps here. Then Basil goes to location 6. Then Jack, who's taking a nap, what? I'm doing something? He jumps over to 6 as well. And then Jacqueline decides to go to the northern streets because she's going to go up north. All right, so now, since we don't have any plot points, it should be pretty quick. So for this card, we need 3 of a combination of these 2 icons, the strength and the courage. Well, Friedrich brings each one of those as his base, plus he has a wild, so that's 3. Took that one right out of the park. Throw that right in the investigation deck. All right, then we have grave robbery. This one we need 4 of strength, lore, and tech, something like that. So let's see. Basil brings lore and a wild, so that's 2. And Jack brings the strength and a wild, so that's 4. So they were able to investigate the grave robbery. Great. So we now have completed 8 o'clock. So you can see that when you don't have plot points, it goes pretty quick. So now we move to 10 a.m. So at 10 a.m., Friedrich goes to location 2. Basil actually does nothing. He takes a nap. Jack goes to location 2 to help Friedrich. And then Jacqueline decides to take a nap. So you got 2 people taking a quick nap. Okay, well, I mean, you can't really blame them. They are going for 24 hours. So, all right. So since we only have this card being taken care of, let's pull it out. So this is the Soul Accelerator. And we need strength and a dove, which is faith, and then tech. And we need 4. So Friedrich brings strength and a wild, so that's 2. And Jack brings strength and a wild, so that's 4. So they both help complete that one. Great. That was 10 a.m. Now let's move to noon. So at noon, Friedrich starts to go east. And that's Jack. There we go. There's Friedrich. So Friedrich goes east. Then Basil gets up and goes east as well. Then Jack decides to go north. And Jacqueline gets up and decides to go to the east streets. So I'm not entirely sure why Monica went to the north streets first. I don't know. She's not here. So we have no investigation at this point, so we'll jump right to the next time period. So now we are in the day portion, okay? So now we can investigate the day portion plot cards, which is what we're gearing up to do here. So first, we will go, Friedrich goes to location 5. Friedrich, there you are, location 5. Then Basil goes to location 4. All right, so a plot point. And Jack goes to location 3 up here. And then Jacqueline goes to location 4 as well over here. So let's do the easy ones first. Friedrich needs 2 of courage. He has courage and a wild. 2. Done. Nice. All right. Then we have Jack over here. He needs 3 of strength and guile. And strength and guile are his base 2 plus a wild. That's 3. Done. All right. Now our second plot point. Dun, dun, dun. The pawn shop. So we just heard about that pawn shop receipt. So now we're going to the pawn shop. And here, I'm going to bring this one up closer. We need, if we get 0 successes, we raise the dread. If we get only 1 success, we gain 1 item. If we get 2 or more successes, we gain 2 items. Not bad. Okay. So, first thing that we do is we draw from our personality deck. So, I've got Basil here. So here's Basil's. Dun, 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 dun. We really hope that we don't draw our flaw. This one looks good. Ooh, yes, we bring lore and faith. And I just dropped those cards. We bring lore and faith. So, what we needed was faith and charm. Our base is charm and a wild, so that's 2. And then we have lore and faith, so that gives us 1 more. 1, 2, 3. So for Basil, he'll be rolling 3. Now we'll come over here and do Jacqueline. Oh, shuffle her personality deck. Let's see. Does she bring up the past? No, she doesn't. She brings more charm and courage because she's daring. So she has, for her base, charm. So she has that. Plus a wild. So she has that. Plus she has charm here. So she's got 3. So we each are rolling 3 dice. And you know what? This one, I think with 6, we should be able to get at least 1 success. 1 success will give us an item. And that one is not a random item. We can actually choose one. All right. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Basil got 1 success. So we are for sure in the clear. All right. Let's see. Jacqueline's going to roll her dice. And she gets nothing. That's pretty typical. So, but we do get to gain 1 item. But before that, let's bring this up and read a little more of the story, shall we? The receipt you picked up at Mr. Reynolds has led you to a pawn shop. The owner is a nervous little man who dislikes strangers. Reluctantly, he tells you that the items belong to a no-good ruffian working for a London crime lord, going by the name of Calypso. You will have to persuade the man to hand you the pawned belongings. So we have 1 success. Your charisma has some effect on the mistrustful man. Eventually, he hands you 1 of the pawned items. So we get to grab 1 of any item. Now, we can grab one of these 3 that are out, or we can grab a random item from here. However, if we grab a random item from here, these 3 get discarded and we'll get new ones. I really like this one because it gives us, the demonic mirror gives us 1 of anything. And I'm going to give that to Basil because that is Jacqueline's ability already. She has her virtue token gives her 1 of anything. All right. So we've already done 2 of the 5 plot points. So now we're going to go to 4 p.m. So at 4 p.m., what's his name? Friedrich goes to 6. I want to take care of this one. Basil decides it's time to go north. Jack goes to 5. I'll move this here. And Jacqueline goes to 6 as well. Okay. So we'll do this one first. So for this one, we need to bring 4 of these icons. And we've got charm, courage, and impact or gun. So Friedrich brings courage and a wild, and Jacqueline brings charm and a wild, so that's 4. Perfect. Got that one. Now Jack, now we have a red token here. That means that we were thinking of potentially using the investigation deck for this one. And I might do that purely to just show you how it works too. This is the masquerade, okay? And we need either guile or charm. He has guile and a wild, but he is not charmful. I don't know if you've seen the picture of him. He does not look charmful. So we are missing 1 success. What we could do is use his item, but his item doesn't give us any of that. We could use his virtue, but his virtue token doesn't give us that. So instead, we're going to grab this investigation deck right here, Give it a nice shuffle. Whoops. Okay. And whatever icons show up in this card, we can add to his investigation. Hopefully it's something good. We shall see. All right. Let's pick this one. Oh, can you ask for a more perfect one? We just needed another charm. That gives a third icon. Now this gets discarded. It does not go back to that investigation deck. So we've used it up, but we have taken care of this. This goes into our deck, so that can help us later. Oh, that's a lucky pull, okay, you guys? Don't expect that often. All right. Next, we'll go to 6 p.m. So at 6 p.m., Friedrich is going to go to location 2. There he is. And then Basil is going to go to location 6. Oh, so he goes up here. Jack is going to go to location 6. And Jacqueline is also going to go to location 2. All right. So we're trying to do a lot of working together. And what's kind of fun about this is you can see Monica had 1 and I had 1 on each one. So that means that we were working together. Who would have thought? Husband, wife, really? No, I'm kidding. All right, so here's a red token. Red token, once again, means we were thinking of maybe having to use that investigation deck. Let's see, yeah, because we need 5 for this one. And this is the escaped convict. And we need charm, courage, and spell casting. So I'm actually going to change what we're going to do, though, because I picked up that item. But Friedrich brings strength in a wild. Jacqueline brings charm in a wild. And then with this new item that we got, I can bring spellcasting. Perfect. 5 completed this. Throw that on top of the deck. Oh, that's terrible. Just dropped it. Let me go grab that. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Where did it go? Okay. I'll have to pause it here. Sorry, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. So now we have Jack and Basil trying to take care of the 3rd out of the 5th plot points. I'll grab this off. Put them back here. Now this one, it's called the Opium Den. And we need, there you go. We need Guile and Charm. And at 0, we raise dread. 1, we're in the clear. 2+, put a success token on plot D. Ooh, we want that one. All right, so first, just like always, we have to do our personality deck. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Are you bringing trauma? No, you aren't. You're bringing the debater again. That's actually not bad. So for Basil, he has as a base 1 charm, then he has a wild, and then he brings he actually brings Guile through his debater for the Opium Den, so he gets to roll 3 dice. For Jack, let's see what Jack can do. It's the first time that we have drawn Jacks. Let's see. Ooh, the Brawler. So he's bringing strength and courage. Unfortunately, neither of those help. So all he's going to bring, he brings Guile and a wild. So I think because of that, we're going to use Basil's virtue token. So Basil's virtue token right here gives him 2 charm. Aha, he's a man of wealth. So because of that, so I'm using up my virtue token. Because of that, we get 2 more dice for Basil. Okay. Well, I think that's good. I'm going to grab these. Give them a good shake. Oh, yes. 3 successes. So now we're going to roll for Jack and just hoping for additional confidence here. 1. Perfect. So here's that confidence deck. Grab one of them and throw them in. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to read this one to you guys. Let's see. Calypso owns just about every drug den in the city. You've located one of his noxious caverns. Inside, a scattering of drowsy husbands, dandies, and ramshackle ruffians surrender themselves to the oblivion of exotic drugs. You try to blend in to learn more and manage to pick up the name Baker Brown, one of Calypso's lieutenants. Now we have more than 2 successes. You retrieve an exact description of Brown's whereabouts, as well as a few useful tips. Ooh, 2+ successes. So we actually, because we had 1, 2, 3, 4, we get 1 more confidence. Toss that in there. All right, and we get the put a success token on D. ABC, where are you? Here you are. So we are guaranteed 1 success on Baker Brown because of that. Oh, that's great. That is really great. All right. Next, 8 p.m. So we're getting close to the night. All right. Friedrich goes down south. So does Basil. Comes down south. So does Jack. And actually, so does Jacqueline. So we're all down south. That took us 2 hours. Must have been a really slow taxi driver. So now we're going to go to 10. So at 10 p.m., Friedrich goes to location 2. Basil goes to location 4. Basil does. Jack then goes to location 2. Oh yeah, he should go to Baker Brown. And Jacqueline goes to location 4. All right. So Jacqueline and Basil need 4 successes with Guile, Lore, and Spellcast. So Jacqueline brings Guile and a Wild, so that's 2. And Basil brings Lore and a Wild, so that's 4. Perfect. Got that one done. All right. Now we're on to our second to last plot point. Baker Brown. So you can see we need courage, strength, and impact. 2 or less raise dread, and all investigators roll the trauma die. 3 successes in the clear. 4+ gain the Book of Spells. So I'm looking for that. All right, so first we'll grab Friedrich. He's got his personality deck here. Let's see, what are you going to bring? Don't bring trauma. Oh, yes. Oh, he brings Hellbent, courage, and strength. And gain 3 confidence. That is awesome. So what we get to do is from this deck, grab 3 confidence cards and put them on top. Oh, that's awesome. And that is 2 of the exact things that we need. So we were bringing strength and courage with our Hellbent. So that's 2. Here, I'll put this up here again like I normally do. That's 2. Plus, he brings 3 with his base. So he's bringing 5. Okay, that's awesome. Now, Jack's turn. Let's see. Let's see if Jack can be as useful as Friedrich. Shuffle these up. Oh, yeah. Brawler again. He brings both courage and strength. So his base brings strength and a wild. And then he has 2 more from his personality deck. Like I said, I brought the right 2 people. I shouldn't say I. My wife brought Jack. Jeez. Come on, Colin. So we brought the right people. All right. So we're just going to roll these dice, and we're going to get tons of successes. So this is for Friedrich. Look at that. 3 successes plus the base 1 from the last one, from the last plot card. So we have 4 successes already. And then we have 2 additional successes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last one is a 4+. So we can put 2 more confidence into this deck. Wow. We have a large amount of investigation cards. Really helpful for the end game, which you'll see. So let me read you this part. Baker Brown runs Calypso's opium business in the area. A bodyguard of hired thugs protects him. You decide to scatter them. And we are at 4+. You strike with military precision, destroying Brown's goons in a swift and bloody melee. After a short interrogation, After a short interrogation, Brown hands over a book wrapped in cloth. Engravings on the cover spell the name Arthur Raynauld. So you see the story starting to come together. And we obtain, at 4+, we obtain this book of spells. And I'm going to give that to Jack. So Jack will have that. I don't know if you saw that very well. Here you go. Oh, come on. Yeah, so 2 and a 4. Awesome. All right, we are almost done. We now go to midnight. So at midnight, Friedrich goes to location 5. Basil goes to location 6. Jack, after doing all that fighting, takes a nap. And Jacqueline goes to location 5. Here we are. So, first, we'll do this one. Blood in the Gutter. Need 4 successes, Guile, Courage, and Impact. So Jacqueline brings Guile and a Wild. Friedrich brings Courage and a Wild. 4. Success. Awesome. Then, over here, Basil needs 4 successes. And he needs let's see, Charm, Faith, and Spellcasting. Okay, so he brings Charm and a Wild, so he only has 2. But he's going to use his Diamond Cross, which is 2 Spellcast, and use that, so that's for 4. So that defeats the necessary evil. All right, now we're at 2 a.m. We're almost done with this section. So at 2 a.m., everybody goes over to this location. Sorry, I got all this stuff sitting around. We all go to the West Streets. And then at 4 a.m., we all go to 3, which is this location. And why we did that is because, if you look at this, it says for each character here, gain 2 confidence. So, 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 more confidence. This investigation deck is insane. All right, so I'll put that here. And so you guys can read this. Let's see, maybe. There you go. The loft is cool and damp. A smell of incense and burnt blood lingers in the air. All right, so that's where we are. Now, after this, we go to the end game. However, before I do that, I have to count up the dread that's left and increase the dread count for that. This deck is so big. So, what we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 2, 2, 3, 24. 24 dread, plus the 4 here, that puts us at 28. So we are all the way over there for that. All right, so in the final video for London Dread, I will show you the end game and show you how that works. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy it.